It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. Welcome back to my channel. And today is another edition of Get Fit With Me series, but it is the meal prep edition. I'm making also is a steak, mushroom, and spinach rice bowl. Well, as we know, I love to sub things. Doing is actually out of this meal prep book. So we're gonna get to it. All right, so next we're doing the steak, mushroom, and spinach rice bowl. So one of the things I actually did, because I think, well, for those who aren't familiar on this channel, I do not buy or do like rice I buy microwave rice. And this microwave rice is, guess what? It's exactly 2 cups. And that's what we need. We need 2 cups of, it calls for short grain white rice. I don't like white rice, so I did brown rice. It's more my preference. And then because I was actually supposed to boil this, it's actually supposed to have some seasonings because, you know, so I am going to mix some rice vinegar into this equation. And it calls for 2 teaspoons of that. And we have our teaspoon here. So we're gonna just go ahead and do that real quick. And so we have that. And then we're just gonna fluffify it. I don't know if that's a word, but we just made it a word, fluffifying it. We are gonna fluffify it. So I'm getting a spoon. Whoop. Causing all kinds of trouble right now, ain't I? All right, there we go. I wanted this kind of spoon so I can fluffify it. Because all we're doing is just doing this. And so that's pretty much all we do with this rice. So I'm going to set the rice aside now because that's all we do with that. And then the steak, which isn't really steak, we're going to toss that in a large bowl. So I'm actually using this. And it calls for, if you are going to use steak, it calls for 1 pound of sirloin steak tips. So 2 of these are 1 pound. So those who are not familiar, this is kind of what it looks like. I wanted to get it prepared a little bit more before I shared with you. This is what it looks, this is what seitan looks like, the kind I just purchased. And what's calling for is 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So I just brought, you know, your basic regular soy sauce. I actually do not have a regular tablespoon, so I actually use the old-fashioned tablespoon. And I know that's not the best option, which is kind of nuts. I do need to buy a tablespoon thing, but that's okay. I really wish it would have called for 3 tablespoons because then that just would have been like 1/8 of a cup, but it's okay. You didn't want me to have to do math. It's okay. I'm actually going to put a little bit more. Okay. And then it also calls for sugar. And what it's calling for is a tablespoon of packed brown sugar. And so I'm checking to see, do I have that? Oh yes, definitely do. I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm not gonna do exactly what it says because I never do what it says. So there's that. For this seitan, you know, I mentioned that it calls for soy sauce and packed brown sugar, like a tablespoon. I had to improvise because my brown sugar, because I don't bake often anymore like that. I definitely baked a lot during the pandemic. The beginning of the beginning of the panorama. But now I don't. So I actually have cane raw sugar, and I added a little bit more of it than like it called for to kind of make up for it, because brown sugar is slightly sweeter than like your cane sugar or like white sugar. So we got that. And then the next thing we need to do actually is we're just going to cook this. So I will show you what we do with that next. And it's going to be fairly easy. This is another one of those recipes that's extremely easy to do and not a lot of work. Especially if you do what I do and make it where it's even less work. You have a winner on your hands. So yeah, we'll show you this being cooked momentarily. And then as I mentioned, one thing that's nice about the two recipes I'm doing today, they're broken down in parts, so it makes it a lot easier to just get things cooked and get it done. But again, this is actually what it looks like with it being stirred. It still doesn't look the best, I know, but it's going to taste good, I promise you. So stay tuned. So it calls for medium-high heat. And it calls for you to use a 12-inch nonstick pan, medium-high heat, and then you want to do a tablespoon of oil. I'm going to continue using the oil that I like to use the most, which is the grapeseed oil, because you're not going to have as much of a smokiness with it. But again, what your personal preference is, that's on you. So we're going to heat that. And then once that's heated, and it says to like have it here until it's smoking. Well, we know it's not going to really smoke, but we can tell when it's hot. And it says that if you're to do the regular steak tips, you're going to add the steak mixture and cook until like well brown for 2 to 3 minutes. And you're going to do like half of it at a time. And then once you're done, you're transferring it to a clean bowl. In my case, since I'm not really using a steak, I'm actually just using like, meat substitute. I'm not sure if it's really necessary to do it that way. I think it's just more or less to make sure everything cooks evenly. I think we're okay to just put everything in there. So that's what we're going to do. And it calls to keep it in there for 2 to 3 minutes. And really until it's well browned. Okay. So that's what we got going on. Once this is well browned, we're going to transfer this into a clean bowl. So I do have that ready to go. And we do want to make sure while we're doing this, which it says for like 2 to like 4 minutes. Whew. Sorry, I got hit a little bit with the mixture. I don't know if it's really necessary for it to be well browned. And, in my case, as I'm doing a meat substitute, it really is until it's just, cooked well. I don't really want to brown it, because the thing is with when you do the meat substitute, it can get rubbery easily if you do too much with that. So we're not going to do that. So next, we're going to do shiitake mushrooms. And it calls for them to be stemmed and sliced thin. So we're not going to be using this part. We're only going to be using this guy. And I think this is a good amount when it comes to thinness of it all. So. All right. I think we got this browned enough while we're doing this. Oh yeah, this is looking, oh yeah, it's giving what needs to be gave. I did turn off the heat, but I am going to let it go in the pan just a little bit longer because I didn't quite follow the instructions all the way. I'm an improviser. But I want to get the mushrooms ready to go because that's next on the docket. And one thing that you could do, and I don't do it because I am someone who rather multitask than just like have everything already ready to go. You could prep this stuff ahead of time if you want. I personally just like doing it while I'm waiting for things to cook and stuff. That's totally up to you though on what your preference is and how you cook. And by the way, it does call for 2 containers. So this is just 1 container's worth of the shiitake mushrooms. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll go on to the next thing. The magic of television, you can see I'm almost done chopping all of the shiitake mushrooms. And we're going to actually put it back in the pan. And one of the things that was updated too is this is what it looks like now that it's cooked and glazed and that yumminess. It smells really good. One observation though that I am noticing as I'm cooking this is I'm not sure if I love the amount of rice. I might add more. Just might. And I think it does have to do with me alternating, changing up the recipe a little bit. And one of the things I did was, because it's calling for 2 tablespoons of, or 2 cups of the rice, but it's uncooked. Rice expands. So I don't think it calls for 2 cups of it cooked. So I need to probably add another the bags in the microwave and, fix that. So it's not that big of a deal. That's a pretty easy fix. And then we'll have the right consistency. The second batch of the shiitake mushrooms I have, they're a lot smaller. I'm also going to go ahead and heat this up now because I am almost done. And it does call for it to be, I think it still is medium high because this is, kind of a stir fry style type of meal that I'm doing here this time around. So. Yep. If you're wondering why are the mushrooms in a colander, well, I cleaned the mushrooms. Really, really good. Like, actually did it more than once. Because, mushrooms, you don't necessarily want dirt and stuff in there. So, I'm going to make sure I got all that out of there. Fortunately, with shiitake mushrooms, usually if there is dirt, because of the type of mushrooms they are, it's usually on the stem. So, because I'm not using the stem in this recipe, it kind of eliminates that. So now that this is ready, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And it really called for me to put the mushrooms in first with the oil and then the teriyaki, but not teriyaki, but the soy sauce. But I went ahead and just did it all at once. And we're going to keep this in for about 2 minutes until the mushrooms are soft. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need another thing of the rice. Not the end of the world, though. So we're just going to let this do what it do. Let's bring you closer, because I want you to see them. Look yummy, huh? Yummy, 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 in my tummy, in my tummy. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the other rice. So it's a pretty easy fix what I'm doing. Okay, so next is we want to make sure we have the kale ready to go because we're not doing spinach, as we know. We're doing kale instead. And for me, I'm going to go ahead and just grab this whole entire thing. We're going to use all this kale. I'm going to use the whole thing. And we're going to clean this kale real quick. And because we're using kale versus baby spinach, I actually have to chop up the kale. So it's an additional step if you're someone who's going to use kale instead of the spinach. I don't really need the ends. Yeah. Probably going to chop it up one more time just because I personally like my kale to be nice and chopped, because, you know, again, using kale versus using spinach, it does change like the consistency of the recipe quite a bit. But also, if you notice here, this is a nice size amount of kale, so I don't have to use as much kale as I would spinach, because kale texture wise goes a long way. So I do like that. So I think we're good on that. So we're going to add this and cook this in for 2 minutes. Now you understand why we use this larger bowl. And we need to cook this until withered. I put this in a little bit sooner than that whole 2 minutes called for because it's going to take a little bit longer for the kale. And I'm going to turn the heat down just a tad bit because it's kale and it's not spinach. So it is going to be a little bit longer in the cooking time, but that's okay. I'm going to let it do what it do here. And yeah. Stay tuned, we got more going on next. We back in this thing. So next, so we already have, you know, this cooked up and ready to go. And you're probably like, why do I not hear anything cooking anymore? Well, because I turned everything off. So now we have to layer everything out. So, and this is why I figured out right away that this is not enough rice. So this is only 2 portions. I can tell it's only 2 portions because that's even how I eat it is 2 portions. And I don't know why earlier in the video I was thinking, oh, that's plenty. I'm like, child, I don't even eat it that way. Why would they meal prep it that way? It's because they don't. So this is what these are 2 portions here. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did before with the other rice. Because, you know, I end up having to make more rice. But my version of making rice is not the recipe's version, so it's actually not too bad. It's actually easier because I just buy rice that I just microwave and then it's done. But I do know that this rice is going to be extra vinegar-y because of what I did, because I didn't know the portions were the portion. So I'm not going to measure it all the way this time. I just poured a little bit this time. And then I'm going to just stir this and fluffify it again. Oop, I lost a huge grain of rice just now. Let's see. Oh yeah. Now, I know not everyone's a vinegar person, so if you're not a vinegar person, you definitely don't have to do the vinegar piece. So then after that, it calls for that. So after we're done with this, because we're making it kind of literally like a bowl, like what you get like a poke bowl. You're almost making it like that. So yeah, that's it for that. That actually does taste good though. I did just try a little bit of that rice. It doesn't taste bad. I kind of like that little extra zing that like that the rice vinegar adds to rice. I think I'm gonna do that in the future. Just add rice vinegar to rice because that tastes good. Anyway, so the next layer is, and I'm kind of drawing a blank, but I'm almost positive we're doing the meat next and then we're doing the vegetables, but I actually need to cheat and look. It calls for this for it to be 2 to 3 minutes. So the egg white should be really, really set. So really, right now it's cooked right here, but it's not cooked all the way here. And I have it on low. I don't even have it on high because I was kind of terrified to even try to do it any other way. And I don't know if I want to cook it on the other side because you're not supposed to really do that with sunny side up. It's supposed to be just like sunny side up. So it looks like it's getting set, but I don't really know. I'm not good with this stuff, I'll be honest. I'm kind of terrified of the idea of sunny side up egg. So I'm moving this and I'm going to do another one and see if that works. Oh yeah, this is interesting. Quite interesting actually, how this works. Okay, the second one is was a little bit easier. I think because it just stayed in one spot. Now I see why they call for you to do 2 at a time and you put them on each side. But you're supposed to use a larger pan than what I'm using. That's the gag. But I don't really know what I'm doing exactly, so we're just guessing. And also too, I'm going to microwave this, so I guess I'm not way concerned as long as it doesn't fall apart. And this doesn't seem like it is going to fall apart. So let's try it. Oh-ish, I did it. I did it. And then I'm going to drizzle. Oh yeah. She looked good. She looked happy. So that's one portion down. I did that. See, I am proud of myself. I'm so proud of me. Yes. So then this one seems like it's setting a lot more easily. And I don't know what that's about. I don't think this is, I don't want to burn it. I actually want, I think I'm going to try it again. Let's try it again. 2 for 2. Oh, we did it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. I don't know if I need more oil or not. I think we're good on the oil. I'm just going to put this on here. Up. And then we're going to drizzle this stuff on top. Oh, child, we're doing it. But I understand why they want you to put in the bowl first, because it's neater when you put it in the bowl versus if you just put it, you know, crack the egg in the pan. That makes a lot of sense. So I got my meals prepped. I don't even want to touch this because I feel like I'm going to burst the egg and it's going to make me sad. I almost want to just like somehow, I don't know. I need to make it where it's less of a thing. Because, child, I want to eat this right now, high key. It looks so good, doesn't it? I know I'm kind of cross-contaminating a little bit. But I don't even want to put this on. It's going to burst it. This makes me sad. And it's because it's so high up. So I almost want to like, hold up. I think I know what I need to do now. I'm going to make room and put it like this and see if it likes that. Oh, this ain't together. Okay. Also, I just noticed, just with this one alone, it needs more oil in the pan because it's not happy. The egg doesn't want to move. Okay, now the egg white is cooking more. It needed just a little bit more oil. And then I need to separate it. The oil helps separates it so you can do the sunny side up. Child, I was today years old when I made my first sunny side up egg. You know how proud I am of myself for this? And you guys are capturing a moment and you guys don't even know it. And hopefully I don't blunder this one. I feel like I've been talking shit now, so this might be a problem. Oh no, we happy. Oh yeah, we happy. I'm telling you, that's that Aries energy. I'm telling you. That really is that Aries energy. You just do something for the first time and you all right at it. Like you're not horrible. You don't blunder it. That is seriously some Aries energy. I was like, well, I'm going to try and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, well, dang, I did that wrong. Nope, it worked out. This one, I'm going to go ahead and put in the thing. And then this last one, because now I know really what to do. You want to make room here. Well, and you don't have to if you're making this for like, to eat right away, clearly. But in my case, because I'm meal prepping and I don't want to just burst this, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to correct this over here on this side, even though it's pretty. I basically need to make room so that, because I don't want to pop the yolk. I want the yolk to still be a thing. I don't want to pop that yolk until I'm about to eat it, which is, another date. It's not today. It's tomorrow and Monday, Tuesday, all those days. See, this I can go ahead and put away, and then I need to make adjustments for the other ones. But anyway, hey, so that concludes the Get Fit With Me series, meal prep edition. I think the way I'm doing this moving forward is a lot better, where I'm doing 2 parts. And it just, man. The reason why I decided to switch it up is, I'll be honest, full transparency, and I'm sure you probably even noticed it as you're watching the video. You may not even gotten through all the video. I still want you to support the video either way. But I didn't like my last video. I didn't like it. Even after editing it and trying to do a whole bunch of different things with it. And I think it had everything to do with all the other videos I did that day. Because I had another video that was that day too, where I was kind of off. I was off all across the board. But it wasn't just that, even just how I've been doing the meal prep ones, because it is something I'm still trying to figure out. It wasn't together. I think this time around, this one is the one. I think I have it where it's more iron tuned. I cut out the parts that no one cares about. You don't have to hear me overly rambling, because that's another thing too. As much as I want you guys to get to know me, I don't want it to just feel so forced and just feel like I'm just rambling for no reason. I want it to be intentional. I want it to make sense. That kind of thing. So anyway, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. And hopefully you enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed this one, because this one to me was a chef's kiss, and you saw that I actually figured out how to do something new on the fly. And it might seem very minimal. For those who cook, you guys are probably like, really? I've never made a sunny side up egg ever. And I did for the first time, and it looked really good. I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like restaurant quality, minus it being in a meal prep container. But that was like in a really, really nice bowl. I would have thought that that belonged to the restaurant. So I was really proud of myself for that. But anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. And you're hearing the microwave because I'm actually about to eat one of my other meal prep meals that I prepped. It's one of the last ones that I prepped that I need to eat before it goes bad. And it's not going to go bad, but you know what I mean. I just need to eat it because it is dinner time for me. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the content. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I know I've said it 3 times, but I kind of mean it. That's why I'm saying it. Yeah. Anyway, till next time. Bye.